Hello, you're listening to ReedyGeeks, a Walt Disney World podcast. My name is Andrew, and today I'm joined by the chairman of the Polynesian Beach Fireworks Viewing Committee, Sean.
Always picking a good spot to watch those fireworks and not be in the park.
You going to change any or propose any new rules with the viewing from the Polynesian Beach?
Yes, I always go in front.
Okay.
I thought you were going to say no kids on shoulders.
Yes. Well, that goes without saying. No shoulder children anywhere on property. That would actually be my Bob Iger day one that we'd have to change something. I would enforce a rule.
No shoulder children.
Banned.
I'm sorry, sir. It's the policy of the restaurant.
Banned.
It's not.
And that voice is the editor-in-chief, JJ.
Editor-in-chief. I like that. It sounds prestigious.
I guess technically.
You've been busy editing all these videos since we came back.
Oh yeah, editing the podcast. Now that we're back, it feels good to be back.
JJ never took a break.
No. If you have a nickname for my co-host, please send in your ideas to ReedyGeeks@gmail.com. In today's episode, JJ shares with us the history of Disney's MGM Hollywood Studios. Before the big, ambitious, fully themed lands that define Hollywood studios today, this park was much more monochrome, focused on a single core idea, making movies. It wasn't about being dropped into a story so much as pulling the curtain back on those stories that were made. Today, JJ is taking us inside the development of Disney's MGM Studios, looking at the vision behind the original concept and how Disney turned one focused idea into an entire park. JJ, take it away.
You know, it's kind of funny. I originally wanted to do like a different episode, and I think I still will, but at a later date. But this story was just so interesting, and I know Andrew loves his historical context, so I figured that we should just do a whole episode of historical context for a secret future episode. So you're welcome.
Nice. I love it.
So, like, we all know, right? Like, we know why they made the Magic Kingdom. We know why they made Epcot. Like, Magic Kingdom, they bought all this land. They were going to do a Florida project. They wanted to build a city. That city ended up turning into Epcot. How did we get this third park? What's interesting about this story is that there's basically two things happening at the same time throughout all of the decisions that lead up to this. So I'm actually going to start in 1982. In Disney, Marty Sklar and the Imagineering team are actually thinking about like what things are missing from the brand new Epcot. So like very edutainment focused, and some of the ideas that they develop, we actually see come pretty immediately into Epcot, including things like the Wonders of Life Pavilion, the Seas Pavilion. But one of the things that they think is missing is actually an edutainment space that's about how movies are made. They want to show guests like Hollywood movie magic, and they develop some ideas around it, but it's never greenlit. But it's like this movie pavilion is kind of like a really well-liked idea in Imagineering, and like good ideas kind of never really die. So it keeps kind of floating around in the background, just kind of waiting for its spot. There was also supposed to be a centerpiece attraction that was taking you kind of into classic movies.
That sounds familiar.
A little bit, maybe a little foreshadowing. Maybe
JJ,
even the whole park, a little bit of foreshadowing.
JJ, do you know where this pavilion was supposed to be in Epcot?
I actually do not. You want to fill us in?
Oh, no, I don't either. I think it was supposed to be by the seas. I've seen concept art of like on that side, like between the seas and the land.
But I don't remember if it's between imagination and land or land and sea. Okay. I know it's. I vaguely remember it being on that side of the park, concept wise. So now we're back to 1982. On the flip side of things, Paramount, which is Paramount Pictures, takes a meeting with Universal Studio, and Universal kind of approaches Paramount with this idea of using some of Paramount's IP to make a larger scale version of the Universal Studios Hollywood, the theme park / working studio that they have in Hollywood, but in Florida. And that's kind of the beginning of the idea of like Universal Florida, that whole complex. So an important note here is that the president of Paramount and the COO of Paramount is a familiar name to us. His name is Michael Eisner. So
never heard of
Paramount. Yeah, I know, right? Paramount pretty quickly shuts them down, basically saying like, we're not going to fund your like fairy tale dream of having 2 theme parks like Disney World. Like, good luck, but like, we don't do theme parks. Side note, they did end up doing theme parks after Universal Studio Works. They operated like 7 theme parks.
Paramount?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Paramount owned theme parks in the 90s and 2000s. Kings Island, Kings Dominion, Carowinds. These are all before Cedar Fair buys them, which is a company that owns like Knott's Berry Farm, Cedar Point.
Yeah.
Well, now they're all the same now. They're all Six Flags,
right.
And Cedar Fair merged like 2 years ago.
I had no idea that Paramount originally owned them.
Yes, but Paramount, well, not originally. Paramount like kind of acquired a few and kind of built their own chain. Okay. So there was like 7 parks. And also to this day, the theme parks here that are in the mall have like Paramount licensed stuff. You know, the big mall in Meadowlands has like Nickelodeon stuff that's Paramount.
Oh, yeah.
And then also Mall of America has similar themed attractions. And then of course, overseas, there's some Paramount-themed stuff.
So like, Eisner originally wanted to be the Universal Studios guy?
I don't know. Well, let's not quite go there. He was approached. His team was approached by Universal in 1982 saying, we want to build this park. They shut it down. Paramount shuts it down. However, we'll talk about this later. There's some debate about Michael Eisner's involvement. But I kind of want to actually skip ahead.
Was he in the meeting, JJ?
Yes. I want to bring this up after I bring up some more information.
Okay. We need to know. The people need to know.
We're going to fast forward to 1984, September of 1984, where head of Paramount, Michael Eisner, is named the CEO of Disney. He's replacing Ron Miller, which is Walt's son-in-law, his daughter Diane's husband. So at this time, Disney's not really a company that's doing so well. Their movies are suffering, and Eisner was deemed the guy that could turn around the ship. He's seen as someone that's like a really great choice for like the movie and TV making side of Disney, because in the 70s, he was in charge of ABC, becoming eventually head of Paramount. So he knows the movie industry really well. And he knows kind of the market of what can be successful, but no one could have predicted really what he did with the parks and how aggressive he became on the themed environment, the theme park side of things, it's really kind of crazy if you think about it, that a TV guy is the person that like is kind of at the center of why Disney World is so huge.
Yeah. I think he looked at like how much money they were making and realized, we can make so much more money than a movie can make by just,
there's no flops.
Leveraging our yeah, exactly.
There's no flops when 10 million people are showing up to Orlando every year. So Michael is a new CEO, and he's doing what really good leaders do. He's spending time around the company. He's learning about the parks from park people. He's spending a lot of time learning the plans that Imagineers have and some of the ideas that they're kind of cooking up. Eventually, he does hear about this movie pavilion for Epcot. Eisner then looks immediately at the Imagineers and says, this should be a whole theme park about how movies are made, and maybe we can even have a working studio. Epcot's not really the fit for this. Let's make a whole park around this. So, where do you think he got that idea from? Could he, I don't know, have been in a meeting 2.5 years earlier that he shut down Universal, which, by the way, after he shuts that down, that kind of fizzles out. Like, Universal is like unable to find the funding to actually be able to break ground on this project. So for all Michael Eisner knows, Universal Studios is dead.
In Orlando.
Universal Studios is dead in Orlando. It's doing well in Hollywood. It's doing well, making movies. It's a good company. I mean, it's like the project of building a theme park in Florida was seen as dead. And I think it's so interesting and so like ruthless in a really cool way. Like, it's kind of a badass move to be like, oh, I'm going to do the thing you wanted to do before you even like get your funding right,
Right. Yeah. I mean, so the way I look at this too is that like the idea wasn't new. It was in Universal Studios Hollywood.
Right.
Right. So if it's just that he's like, oh, you know what? This is they're doing that in Hollywood. They were thinking about doing it here. This is a good idea. Let's do this. I think that's kind of innocent. But if he knows, hey, they're looking for a partner, they're going to open up in Orlando. Sooner or later, they're going to find funding. We need to get out ahead of them so that we open first our movie theme park in Orlando. If that's the case,
I don't think that's the case. I think he thinks it's a good idea, but Paramount wasn't in the theme park business and is now in a position where theme parks is his business, and he's going to build this idea before competition exists, but he wants to do it the right way.
Right.
Because he's not like announcing a third gate. He is quietly developing some ideas with the goal of that being a third park.
I guess the whole point is how much does he know that that Universal Studios Orlando is right on Disney's heels? Right? Like,
well, I think he thinks it's dead and that he can take his sweet time developing it and making it right the first time. I think there is some evidence that shows that he was being very reactionary. So in 85 and 86, Eisner, starts moving on this idea, right? And he has this time to build it out because he's under the impression that Universal hasn't partnered with anybody, so they can't possibly afford to do this. That's why they came to Paramount. No one's aligned with them. And it's kind of this idea of like, well, if none of my colleagues have partnered with Universal, this project can't be happening. Or so he thought, because at the same time that Eisner's doing all of this, obviously we know Universal Studios does get greenlit. They do find funding, and they're able to do it all on their own. And in late 1986, Universal goes public, says, hey, Universal Studios Orlando, Florida, a working studio and theme park, are coming to Orlando in 3.5, 4 years, 1990. And Eisner does what any logical person would do, and that is announce his new theme park that is coming a year earlier than theirs.
So his announcement was after theirs, but he wants to open
before them.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, he's ruthless, perhaps, is some might say.
We should get him on the pod.
What an absolute dream that would be. Michael and Breck Eisner.
Do you think he runs his own Instagram account? Does he have an Instagram account?
I don't think he has one.
He's like 82 years old. If he's got one, he's not using it.
Well, that's progress for you.
So, in 1987, Eisner's announcement, we're going to open it first. Now, there's an interesting twist here. He partnered with MGM to pull this off. So again, I ask, how did he know to partner with another studio to pull this off? Could he have been in a meeting 5 years earlier where he was being asked to partner with Universal?
Yeah. Yeah.
He knew about it. He knew about the first meeting. There's no way he didn't know about it.
And has anyone ever put him in the room where it happened?
It's not confirmed.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not confirmed, but it has to be. Like, it just has to be.
That sneaky guy.
Yeah.
A brilliant, sneaky man.
So now we've got two parks being built at the same time, and they're doing the same exact thing. So MGM, because it's opening before Universal Studios, it's actually kind of a rush job, and it's going to be like this phased opening. And as a matter of fact, it's being billed as a half-day park. It's going to open as a half-day park. So how many rides do you think are available to you at a half-day park? Rides, not counting shows. We're not counting, all the other entertainment stuff that would go into. Just pure rides.
4.
I think that's a good guess, Sean. Yeah, I think 4, if maybe 5, but 4, yeah.
What if I told you that it opened with 2?
2 rides.
2 rides. The Backlot Tour, which is purely ripped off of Universal Hollywood.
I forgot about
and the Great Movie Ride, which is obviously part of that Epcot, the original concept of the Epcot pavilion.
Mm-hmm. Takes you through the old movies, the old classic movies, and yeah.
So now other attractions, other like non-rides, so shows and stuff, there is the Magic of Disney Animation Tour. So there's a movie, it's like a kind of a guided tour of what an animation studio does. And then...
Was that an Imagination Courtyard?
Yes, exactly. It was in the Animation Courtyard. And you can, you were able to like watch animators actually working on the movie. So like, could you imagine if your office was just like a glass wall and the public could just like watch you like you were in an aquarium?
Honestly, I just think of Jurassic Park and the ride where they're watching all the science go on. Yeah.
It's just like that, except with people drawing Mushu from Mulan.
Life always finds a way.
And apparently the movie had Robin Williams in it, but I don't remember that. I only remember watching the animators in their little glass rooms.
I mean, one of the main things I remember from Eisner era is famous people in every pre-show. Like, for a pre-show they made, it had to have a famous person.
Or it's narrated by a famous person, or it's whatever. Yeah, absolutely. It's a trademark of Eisner is requiring star power.
Yeah.
So there's a show called the Monster Sound Show.
It's a good one.
Yeah, the Monster Sound Show. It's a theater, and it taught you about how like movie sound effects and Foley artists made sounds for movies. So volunteers would try to basically become Foley artists and try to place the sounds in the right spot. And they'd kind of give a performance, and it was recorded, and then everyone would watch it back, and they'd laugh because it's so bad, and it's, it was a really good time. Now, the next one is one that I remember because my mom was on it one time, and it's called Superstar Television.
Yes.
And
Trisha was on it, too.
Oh, cool. Okay. So this one... Basically, a casting director would look for talent, aka volunteers from the audience, and they would basically superimpose these people into classic television show scenes, not themes. Mm-hmm. So my mom did the famous "I Love Lucy" the chocolate thing.
Yeah.
She was in that. Wow. Yeah, and again, because these are like not trained people and they're putting them in very funny and classic situations, it gets really funny to watch, and you kind of get an idea. You learn a little bit, but then you're also kind of laughing because it is, you realize that like this fun thing is also kind of super hard.
Trisha they put her in the Letterman show, and she was like introducing him and Gallagher throwing watermelons, like that whole thing.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah. So she was like the introduction. I don't know. Somewhere my parents have a video of it somewhere. But yeah, it's like my 5 or 6 year old sister. Hey Dave, something like that. It was fine. I remember it like almost vividly.
That's funny.
I have a bad feeling about this.
And that's it. That's all that was at the park.
Really? What about Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular?
That doesn't open until a couple months later.
That's not
It's not technically an opening day attraction. Isn't that
I guess
crazy?
it's an opening year attraction.
It's an opening year attraction.
Okay.
So basically, the day it opens in May 5th, 1989, you got 2 shows, 1 movie, 1 animator watching observatory tank, and 2 rides. That's it. Later that year, both the Indie Stunt Show and Star Tours open in August and December, respectively, which is both before Universal Orlando opens.
Okay.
But could you imagine being there in like July of '89 to see this brand new theme park and there's 2 rides and 2 shows?
Yeah.
It's absurd.
What's interesting is that MGM Studios, Disney's MGM Studios and Universal Orlando kind of went in 2 different directions. Like Universal tried to be more like Disney with more rides and, where you're riding the movies, right? Like, and they did dark rides and stuff like that. And while Disney went more of the Universal Studios of Hollywood
the production.
route, and the production.
Right, they almost recreated Universal Studios Hollywood.
Yeah.
But in
they like
Florida.
switched what they did, but
what they were used to do. Yeah. So, what do you think the reception of this park was?
So I kind of remember one reception. And of course, I think we should emphasize that. How old were we?
We were 1.
We were 1 years old.
We were 1 year old.
One full year.
Yeah.
Actually, not even for me. May 5th, I was, 9 months old, 10 months old.
Yeah, I was 11 months and 20 days.
Right, you're almost 1.
Yeah. So I kind of remember people, though, thinking the backlot tour was too long, right? Wasn't it like 2 hours long?
There's almost like a lot of steps to how it started. And again, that kind of mirrors what Universal was doing in Hollywood. In MGM, when it had all of the scenes and stuff, that you had all the beats following it note for note. Yeah, that was a long experience. It was like an hour and a half or 2 hours long.
Wow.
However, despite all that, it's reviewed shockingly well.
Oh, yeah, really?
People are thrilled, and it's like excellent in a way that I don't think is possible to exist today.
Yeah.
Everyone would be so mad that there's only 2 rides there.
Well, because also I think back then, theme parks of this magnitude are relatively new. So people don't have really the sample size to know what a disappointing park is. They just know that Disney has a new park and the American people love the movies. They love Hollywood. They love making movies. They love behind the scenes stuff. Like the Academy Awards is one of the biggest broadcasts ratings of the year every single year. People love movies. It doesn't surprise me that a small park like this was still kind of, people were sort of blown away by it because it's just it's something that everybody loves.
And the idea of how to make a movie is still relatively unknown. And I think that really entice people to go and would like that.
Yeah, it's still pretty much pre-internet. Like no one's using internet at their house. Like it does exist for like some businesses kind of talk to each other on it, but that's it barely exists. The internet.
And it's before DVDs have extras and behind the scenes and things like that. You know what I mean? I think I could see that being good. And it's also something different than your typical dark ride, or you know what I mean? Like that's
it's a brand new experience.
Right. There hasn't been any location like that on this side of the country ever.
And that sound studio scene, like that's different. The sound, like that stuff is not in the Universal Hollywood. Universal Hollywood. Correct me if I'm wrong. At this time, isn't it just the tour?
I'm not too sure, but I think they have some filler shows around it. I do think they might have like the movie makeup thing and they might have some of that. Okay. Universal Hollywood. Yeah, I have a feeling they do, but this was about MGM, so I didn't do my research on that.
No, that's totally fine. Yeah, I'm not so. I guess I agree with Sean. I'm not surprised that people people seem to like it. If it just had the amount of dark rides that were at Epcot, if it was just another park with dark ride after dark ride after dark ride, I think people would have been very upset. Yeah. And also, you're not paying for that much during that time. To add on this half-day experience is not like today. It's not like you're paying $200 to go there.
Right, and it would be easy because all tickets are hoppers at this point in time. So if you buy 3 days, it just means that you're going to Magic Kingdom for a day and a half, and you're going to Hollywood Studios for the morning or the evening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad.
You see now, this little gang has super wonderful imagination.
So Michael Eisner is the reason why we have MGM. I could have just said that, and then we could have been like out of here so much quicker.
Roll credits.
Yeah. I mean, and there's it was his perfect, like, he loves half day things. Like, all the water parks are all supposed to be half day, experiences. Hong Kong Disneyland half day park, MGM half day park, Animal Kingdom at first is a half day park.
Hollywood Studios, as it is right now, I still don't think is a full day park.
I mean,
there's enough to do to get a full day out of it. But if you want to haul ass and get everything done, you can do Hollywood Studios before 1:00.
Especially if you're paying.
If you're cutting the line,
yeah. If you're lightning lane and doing all that stuff, you can get there right when it opens, get on every ride, see a show, and be done by 1 or 2 o'clock, and not feel like you're leaving money on the table, even though you definitely are leaving money on the table if you leave at 1 o'clock. But
do you think if Eisner was able to pull this park off before Universal figured out their money, do you think Universal ever opens up Universal Orlando?
I think they do.
I do.
I think, yeah, because they provided a different product, and you know, they found their own space in this market.
Well, they definitely did eventually, but they don't open like that. They open with a lot of dark rides and how movies are made types of rides. Yeah,
that's a good point. They tried to be Disney at first.
They tried to do Disney for the first, really until they open up Islands of Adventure. So like the first 8 or 9 years it exists, they're doing the E.T. dark ride, the Jaws dark ride, the King Kong dark ride. Like, it's all dark rides. And then there's the sound effects show and the green screen show and this show. Like,
But they do it in a good way. Like Sean saying right there, like, oh, I love that. Like, their technology was more advanced in some respects than just your typical dark ride at Disney, like, Haunted Mansion or something like that. That whole E.T. saying your name as your name left,
always blew me away. But also, I mean, Universal, and I think it's still something that Disney still struggles with. And I don't know if struggles is the right word because it's a conscious decision today, I think. Universal wasn't afraid to go there with scarier, more like thrill-seeking rides. The Jaws ride, when you're a 5-year-old kid, is terrifying. The King Kong ride is very scary. The earthquake simulator ride, when you go underground and the water starts shooting down in the subway. I think there was a Twister simulator, if I'm remembering.
Yes. So
Universal was not afraid to go there and give you a thrill-seeking experience, whereas Disney still was you had Space Mountain. But, it was still mostly tame, family-oriented entertainment, whereas Universal just went for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely did. But Universal had more scary properties to celebrate. Mm-hmm. So
that's true.
They were honoring the properties that they had, but with Disney-style dark rides. And I think it takes them until like 99 or 2000 to be like, hey, let's, if we have scary stuff, we're actually probably attracting an older audience, and we should be putting some of these bigger rides in there for this older audience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's, I think, really when they take off is Islands of Adventure. I think
Islands of Adventure was 90. I think Islands of Adventure and Animal Kingdom opened the same year. I could be wrong on that.
They're like
but
1 year apart. It's really close.
99, I think.
98 and 99, respectively. Yeah.
JJ, for some reason, I kind of have this memory of you and like associating you with Islands of Adventure. Were you like?
I went in 2000.
Is there a story there?
Yeah, is there a story here? Do you love that? Or?
I went in 2000. I loved it. That was 6th grade. That was like right after I got over being like afraid of roller coasters. So like I went on Dueling Dragons. I went on Hulk. It was great. And there was no one at that park. The day I went to Universal, we thought we were only going to do Islands of Adventure, but we then like midday upgraded to do both parks because no one was there because Rosie O'Donnell was in like Animal Kingdom that day doing her show. So there were like 30,000, 40,000 people that went to Animal Kingdom to see Rosie O'Donnell, her daily show.
This is also back when Orlando was only like 20,000 people.
Right, exactly.
So, everyone in Orlando is from somewhere else at this point.
Yeah.
And they love Rosie. She's America's sweetheart at the time.
At the time.
Talk about a time capsule.
At the time.
She was beloved.
I actually have a funny story about Rosie O'Donnell. She was a clown for hire, and she was a clown at my cousin's birthday party.
Wait, so is Rosie O'Donnell why you're afraid of clowns to this day?
I unfortunately do not think either I wasn't alive at the time or I was way too young to remember, but my aunt and uncle had have a picture with Rosie O'Donnell as the clown in front, with all the whole family.
She's from Comac or Smithtown?
Yeah, she's one town over.
She's from Long Island. And what a good idea of like, oh, let's get a picture with the clown, and then it happens to be Rosie O'Donnell like 15 years later,
Again, America's sweetheart, Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah. Oh man, I can't wait to explore more about MGM, Disney's MGM Studios. That is I think a fascinating time.
It is a really interesting time. And when I heard this story, I was like, well, this is its own episode. Like finding out that Eisner knew that Eisner was approached when he was in Paramount. Like, I was like, that's crazy. Like that's an episode.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that, JJ.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Do we have time for a... Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, you're going to ask it.
No, I sometimes forget.
He's been doing that.
I know.
It's really rude, actually. We need to talk about this.
I'm sorry.
So I'm looking at the time here. I think there's time for a game. Do you guys think there's time for a game?
I think there's time for a game.
Okay, well, let me tell you what game I have, and then you can tell me if you're interested in playing it.
Okay, sounds good.
So this game is called Overrated, Underrated. Good?
Love it.
Okay.
Approved.
Okay, so we're good. It's approved. Overrated, underrated. I've got a list of things that are Disney World related, and you're going to tell me if you think it is overrated or underrated.
My hater hat is on.
Okay. Overrated, underrated. Banana Ball coming to ESPN's Wide World of Sports.
I'm going to say overrated because it's not. At first, I thought that it was going to be a thing, like they were going to stay there and they were going to be a Disney World team. And then I was like, that's awesome. We can go see them whenever we want, type of thing. But if it's just once, then it's totally overrated.
I'm going to say underrated because you got to start somewhere. And I think that park needs to be used for something. And it's so perfect. It so matches brand. The Savannah Bananas and Disney really feel very similar to me.
It's not the Savannah Bananas, though. Are they coming themselves to Disney? Because there's going to be a Banana Ball team that plays at the Wild World of Sports, but it's not the Savannah Bananas. It's like an Orlando. It's like Orlando's.
Well,
the Banana Ball League is going to have a team, but it's the actual, like the same Savannah Bananas you guys saw at Yankee Stadium are coming to Disney World.
I think it's the Bananas against that new team that you're talking about. But that team doesn't have a home stadium. That beach team that they just said announced, it's not that is not there's not really an official home park. It's any beach town, any beach state. They're going to say, if you're from San Diego, you cheer for the beach team. If you're from whatever, you're from Hawaii, cheer for the beach team. Like, it's just, they're just kind of using it as like any beach USA, the team.
I think it's underrated in the fact that there's nothing at the Wide World of Sports. It is like the biggest waste of land in the United States. Nothing happens there if there's not like a cheer competition or a COVID pandemic NBA bubble. There's nothing happening at the Wide World of Sports. So if you I don't know how Major League Baseball, number one, let the Braves get away, or Disney let the Braves get away from spring training there. The MLB should try to figure out how to have some team do spring training in Disney World, because it's such a cool, fun little village. And there's all sports complexes and a fun place to walk around in the fields. It's an underrated thing because I think it brings more attention and more people to that area of Disney World. And depending on how popular this is, could springboard other things like this. There. So I think overrated Savannah Bananas, because I think they've come onto the market pretty hot and strong and haven't really gone away enough yet. But I think using the complex there for that, underrated, because again, why even have the Wide World of Sports there?
Yeah, it's got to start somewhere. And Wide World of Sports is a ghost town, unless Andrew's picking up his bib for a Run Disney event that he did not train for.
I do agree with that the Wide World of Sports needs to be utilized more, and they need to do something with that. And having a Savannah Banana team would be awesome for that. But I don't think Disney would allow a team to operate there unless they had some sort of control over the entertainment that they're providing, like the show. Because not like the Braves game is like, what that's going to be. But the Banana Show is an entertainment show. And so that's different. I think they would have to have some type of ownership, some type of control over that, which I bet you that guy would be okay with that,
Yeah.
If you're not familiar with the Savannah Bananas, in between innings, there are celebrities and there's this and there's that. There's a lot of that stuff going on, which I think is something that Disney can say, we're going to give you the guest, we're going to give you the singers. Yeah. So it kind of controls that entertainment factor. And I think that's how Jesse, the guy that owns that league, the Savannah Banana owner, the guy in the yellow tuxedo, I think he'd be perfectly okay with that, to be able to play Disney World whenever he wants, know?
I think he would be not okay with it mostly anywhere else, but it's Disney, so you're okay with it.
Right, because he also wants that. He wants to honor the area that he's in, so if he's in Disney World, he's going to want Disney celebrities. Just like when he's in New York, he hired a bunch of New York people were at those games.
I've seen him in an interview comparing himself to Walt Disney as a disruptor of an industry that is, has fallen by the wayside or is getting old and boring. And
that guy is nothing if not confident in what he does.
Yes.
You compare yourself to Walt, you got to be pretty confident guy.
But what's interesting is that it's a small anecdote, and we can move on after this. Disney absolutely controls who comes in and performs. There are bands they won't let play at the House of Blues. I know that the band Every Time I Die, when they were touring, they were not allowed. They were barred from Disney World and performing at the House of Blues because Disney did not want to have them selling T-shirts that had the word die or death or anything having to do with it on it, and Disney basically didn't approve of their lyrics. So Every Time I Die, if they were on a tour with another band that was stopping at Disney World, they would have to be off that night. So yeah, Disney has obviously a heavy hand in saying who goes where and what and does what on their property.
On their property. Yeah.
Okay, so overrated, underrated. Stacy from Must Do Disney being back.
Can someone explain this to me? I don't know what this is.
Okay, I love it. I am totally into it. This is the resort TV that you would watch in the TV. And now today, they just have narrators. They just have faceless narrators that take you through all the parks. Before, it used to be Stacy. Stacy would be on the ride. She would be talking to you. She would like break the fourth wall. Yeah, and she would hype it up, and she would show you everything that you had to do, like your must-dos. There's been other iterations of who Stacy is, like the person before, I forget her name. She had like short bobby hair and blonde hair. But Stacy was around for a while, and she's a fan favorite. I think it's awesome. I love that they're bringing back nostalgia and like connecting with the millennials and Disney adults that remember going when they were kids. And I also hate. I put it on every time, but I really don't like the must-do resort TV that's on there now.
It feels weird that you're not listening to your friend Stacy telling you what you need to do while you're here.
And she could be funny with it. She could be, you know what I mean? Like, you could do more when you can see the person, and otherwise it's just like literally an infomercial, which it is. But at least before, it was like you were going on this journey with her.
Based on the information that has now come across my desk, I will say underrated. But I had no idea who or what that was when you said it.
Yeah, it's a light underrated for me. I don't really care. I mean, I care in a little bit because I do think, Disney makes enough money that they should have actors and stuff, within all this promotional material that they have. And it's nice that there's a star. Did it have to be Stacy again? No.
Yeah.
But it's kind of cool. Point. It's cool, and I'm glad that they're starting to do that stuff again, because this is one of the things that people have been kind of slamming Disney for, is like, it's just so like everything feels like a corporate
it's impersonal
slideshow, right?
Yeah.
Calm down, Rover. I was only kidding.
Okay. Next one, which is timely, considering the news that's happened the past couple days. Overrated, underrated. Batuu being locked into a timeline.
I have thoughts on this, and I was gonna send them out there, but I hate that they're just willy-nilly plugging original trilogy characters into Batuu now. I loved that it had its own timeline, its own story, and now it means nothing. It's just things are just words. Land. Words have no meaning, because as long as something can make money, it doesn't matter what we said. It doesn't matter what the creative direction was. Batuu is set in the sequel trilogy, so of course Darth Vader can be there walking around. Who cares? It's so stupid, and I think it's a really bad decision creatively, and I think it kind of poo-poos and not mocks, but does a bit of a disservice to the work that went into creating Batuu and its environment and its story, and it's just like, whatever. Overrated, I guess. Also hate.
So I will say they're only doing it in Disneyland, and I think that makes sense, because Disneyland is just it's a really great place to go on a bunch of rides and see all your Disney IP friends. Like Disneyland, it's everything jam-packed into a tight area. I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to put my tinfoil hat on. Batuu being changed in Disneyland only might be a smoking gun that an original trilogy land is going to come to Walt Disney World at some point in the next 10 years. Because if it's more than 10 years down the road, just give us Darth Vader, whatever, just pull the plug. Just if you're making a decision in Disneyland, there's going to be so many people complaining, well, where's Darth Vader? Just put Darth Vader in there if you're not going to do it in the next 10 years. But I think there's some hope. I'm getting real conspiracy theorist here, but I think there's a little bit of hope that this means that an original trilogy land might actually happen.
I would love you to be right, and I think there's definitely a chance that you're right, because there's really nothing stopping them from announcing it, a couple years down the line, because it probably wouldn't take as long to make this extension, or the expansion rather, than it would take to make Villains Land or Piston Peak. But I mean, we already have. I mean, it's not a meet and greet, but you have Darth Vader and the Stormtroopers and everything at Star Tours. You know, does this maybe spell? We've been saying how many episodes we said that Star Tours is on its way out somewhere in these parks, and maybe that's a way to keep those performers and keep those characters. I would love an expansion to Galaxy's Edge, or even if the new land is not necessarily even an expansion of Galaxy's Edge, it's somewhere else in the park and not directly connected, kind of like they have. I don't think it'll be in a separate park. Like they're not going to put Endor or Hoth.
Oh,
you
I think
so?
Because
like they do, like Harry Potter is in 2 parks.
If Harry Potter can be in 5 Universal theme parks, then I think Star Wars can be in a few different parks.
It's possible.
In Orlando. Yeah. I'm calling my shot. I'm gonna keep calling it.
I like it. I think it's a good idea. I think I could see it, Hoth being in, I'm sorry, I could see Endor being in Animal Kingdom. I think that would be great.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be fun. And I kind of agree with JJ that I'm okay with it in Disneyland because you can tell that that Galaxy's Edge was getting less crowded and less attendance because of what they did, the changes to Oga's Cantina, where now it's not reservation based anymore. You can just walk up and walk in. Obviously, people aren't going to Galaxy's Edge as much as they would want, and maybe that's because it's a locals park. And so once you've done it, once you've lived the story, you kind of are a little bored with that, and you want to see your old friends Vader and Luke. I'm all right with it. I'm actually kind of surprised, Sean. I thought that you wanted to meet. Like you wanted some place, but I guess you wanted a dedicated place to see Vader and the old guys.
It has little to do with actually getting these characters, and more like it's just throwing away the creative idea that Batuu takes place at a certain time in a certain period. It has a story. It wants to be lived in. It wants what's happening around you to be. Rey and Poe and Finn and BB-8 are walking around, and then just throwing in Luke Skywalker, throwing in Darth Vader, and it's another. Listen, I'm not going to go on for hours about this, but it goes back to the same problem I have with the shows. Everything has to come back to the Skywalkers, the Mandalorian kind of forcing Luke Skywalker in to season 2, and it's like you can't just let something be something without having to bring it all the way back around to having Luke Skywalker walk around. And I don't know. It's forced. I think it's stupid. And I don't know. I would hope that if they're going to do it in Disney World, they bring those characters somewhere where it makes sense for them to be story wise. Because Disney cares so much about the story. So I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I am a little worried of what it means for other immersive lands and the future of immersion, like complete land immersion. That is a little worrisome, and especially when you have it back to back with the Star Cruiser going away. You know what I mean? Like, are they seeing that the public is getting like too immersed out? You know what I mean? And maybe they don't think it's that big of a deal anymore.
No, I think you were right before. Like, Disneyland is a locals park. They've experienced it so much. It has to keep evolving with the limited land they have. They don't really have too many lands that are super immersive on that level of the Batuu. Like they really just have Batuu in that park and Radiator Springs.
Yeah, and maybe Avatar in the future. But like that Marvel thing is, it's
not really that.
Yeah.
It's not immersive.
No, I don't feel like I'm actually on their campus. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point.
Also for the record, that means I was saying that it's changing it is overrated and people are a little too hyped up for something that, I kind of agree with Sean.
As far as what I'm declaring it, I'm not sure. Properly rated. I understand why people are upset. I understand why people are happy.
Yeah. Okay. Now, I think this one's maybe just a little too easy. Overrated, underrated, cool kid summer.
Oh, underrated.
Right? So underrated.
Yeah. Yes. I don't think people actually really know about it. I think that they see an advertisement for it. They see a mailing for it. But they don't understand like how much actual extra entertainment and one-on-one entertainment, like not just meet and greet, but like the new thing they're trying, meet and play, where you're spending time with these characters.
You get to interact with these characters. Like they're going to be out in the open in a way that you don't get in Orlando.
Yeah.
It's really cool. It was, I loved it. I was there last year, right at the beginning of Cool Kids Summer. And it was great. You can really feel the difference in the parks. It added a lot of energy in a way that was it trickled down. Like you could feel the magic. It was really special.
Now, would I go to Disney World in the summer solely for this? I don't know. I think that, and they know that. That's why they have amazing deals this summer.
Promo code ReedyGeeks, of course.
Promo code the buy 3 nights get 2 nights free or something like that.
It's 4
right?
get 2, so you gotta
4 get 2.
Yeah.
Okay. That's amazing. That actually makes me want to not use my points and
bank them
and get an actual hotel room.
Plus, you can stack that. You can stack that with your annual pass holder 40% off.
Oh, okay. So I thought maybe it had to be a full package of tickets and it might be a package of tickets and room.
You can buy the tickets on their own. So maybe you can. I know you can buy a 6-day ticket is the same price as a 4-day ticket right now.
Okay. All right. So maybe that's
it. Might trickle down.
Both of them are individual.
Which, if they're both individual, that is a steal.
Yeah.
Because
huge.
there are plenty of people that I know that would be receptive to getting 6 nights of a hotel for the price of 4.
You mean everyone? Anyone? Would you rather pay for 6 nights, or would you rather pay for 4 nights and get 6 nights?
Yeah, there's no way that it's overrated. Like Andrew said, I don't think it's advertised. I don't think it's even advertised well enough. A lot of people probably don't know about it.
It's really not.
Bringing characters back in any additional way that it's been since really COVID. It's felt very like standing online to meet the characters as always. I mean, that always has existed in some extent, but that's really been the only way you could meet characters. And it's always felt like very just regimented, very informal, very impersonal. And I think this is bringing back a little more of that spontaneous kind of whimsical fun that you can have in an age where Disney vacations have to be so scheduled and structured and so regimented. This is just fun that you can't plan or prepare for. It just kind of happens upon you.
Yeah,
absolutely. Okay, I got one more. This is the last one. Overrated, underrated. Toy Story Land.
Ooh. Overrated.
Yeah. I lean that way too. If they had a better idea for an expansion back when they did this, I don't think they I think this was born out of needing to expand Hollywood Studios and needing to add something and not really
needing kid space.
needing kid space, kid friendly stuff, and not really having a better idea, because they built it kind of in conjunction with Galaxy's Edge. Galaxy's Edge opened much later, but it just feels like Toy Story Land was just born out of, well, we could do this, The larger than life, making you feel like you're actually a toy size, is cool.
It doesn't work well enough.
Right.
Because you can still tell that you're outside in the real world.
Right.
The main problem is that what they thought of in the concept art and all the things that they designed are all really cool individually. But once you're outside and you're looking at it, you can tell that, the scale isn't correct. That, I'm clearly still my size, and I'm still clearly, this is still clearly, I'm outside in an amusement park.
Yeah. They needed huge walls to block you from everything else that looked like trees. That
yes.
So you think that oh my god, that's a 100-foot tree.
Right. They used trees to frame this out and add an an edge so that you can't see outside of the park. But really what you're doing is you're like, but that's still a tree. Like I'm still next to a tree.
Yeah. And that tree is a normal sized tree, which means I'm still my size.
I'm still normal size. It's like there's just some disconnect there. Plus it's too hot there. Plus Slinky Dog's line is crazy. Like, yeah, overrated. Like I understand that families love both of Woody's restaurants, the Roundup Barbecue and the Lunchbox. And Grown Up Lemonade is a good time. Like I understand all that. I love Toy Story, but there is definitely something that's lost in the translation of the scale, because you can plainly see trees that are the same size as the trees that we have. Now, if they had put full-size redwoods in there, you'd be like, oh, maybe I am good.
That would be awesome. Yeah, it would have been difficult to do unless you're inside.
Yeah.
I guess, and they maybe could have done that, and where the roller coaster just goes outside.
Yes. Yeah, I think it should have been indoors. It really probably should have. It would have been a lot nicer. God, it's so hot back there. That's the hottest part of any park in Orlando. To me, it's the hottest surface in Orlando. is being in the center of Toy Story Land.
Oh man! All right, can I give my own?
You've got an overrated, underrated. Yeah, go for it.
An overrated. Okay, overrated or underrated boat transportation?
Underrated.
I agree, underrated.
The boat's underrated. The boat's great. From the Wilderness Lodge boat's cool. I think those friendship boats are pretty good too. I think no one wants to use them because they look ugly.
Are those the ones in Epcot?
Yeah, those are the ones in Epcot. If you have time, it's a nice boat ride. But I do like, the boat that goes from Wilderness Lodge to Fort Wilderness to Contemporary and then back to Fort Wilderness Lodge. It's a nice triangle right there. Good park hopping if you're staying in any one of those.
Okay, because I'm thinking. Okay, so my answer, I guess, then is not twofold, or maybe twofold. But the boat, like the big river boat that takes you from TTC to the Magic Kingdom, overrated. I would never in my life get on the line that waits for that. But oh god,
really? You think that takes longer than the monorail?
Absolutely.
I don't think it's about longer. I just think it's about like I want to go on the monorail when I'm in Disney World.
Like it's sort of its own ride. But in terms of like the off, like a little, I could see other boat. Like I love one of my favorite things to do in Disney is take that boat from like Port Orleans or Saratoga down the canal into Disney Springs. That is such a fun, nice, like relaxing ride. So boat transportation in the sense that it's different, underrated, but specifically talking about one or two specific boats. Oh God, I would never.
So boats, yes. Ferries, no.
Okay, that's fair.
Ooh, that's good. That's good.
Boats,
I like
boats
that.
Underrated, ferry overrated.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, one thing I didn't mention last episode, because it was something I was very worried about staying at the Poly Tower, was going to be the monorail for rope drop. Because you're adding how many more people staying at the Poly Tower to the monorail system, and like how they already were overcrowded, right? And Grand Floridian always has an issue with the monorail already being
full when it gets
too
there.
full by the time it gets to them. So what they did though, which was it made us late to rope drop, but they reserved a full monorail. There was a monorail that came by. It stopped in front of us, and it didn't open. And it waited, and it went to Grand Flow so that they got their own dedicated monorail.
The rich keep getting richer.
Yeah. I think that they should just make the last train on every monorail is reserved for Grand Floridian.
A sign that says no pores on it, and they'll know.
credit check as you get in. You can't.
This is only for 750 and up credit scores.
Now you're talking. That's the best idea you've had all day.
So I'm out at overrated, underrateds. Andrew, I think you're also out of overrated, underrateds.
Off the cuff, yes, I'm out.
Okay, perfect.
Sean, do you want to take us out?
Thanks for listening to another episode of the ReedyGeeks podcast. Like, rate, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Any questions, comments, concerns, future topics, or titles, email us at reedygeeks@gmail.com and check us on all our socials at ReedyGeeks. We'll see you next time.
There's going to be at least 20 minutes of what we just talked about cut. And I want you to keep that statement, though, so that people know.
This week's Honest Send-Off comes courtesy of the Geeks. If you have an honest send-off that you want played at the end of one of our episodes, please submit an audio clip to us via our email address, reedygeeks@gmail.com. ReedyGeeks, a Walt Disney World podcast, is hosted and executive produced by Andrew Shopey, Sean Murphy, and JJ Hefner. Music and audio engineering by JJ Hefner.
Bon voyage.